everybody! Boom! One more day, man. One day left, and I got the review out today. I expect nothing but a massive applause that can be heard from Australia. I live in America, so the fact that you could hear it from Australia, like if you already live in Australia, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, whatever. Anyway, hope you guys had a great 2017, and if you didn't, well, that's kind of the whole point of New Year's. I'm feeling it, guys. I'm feeling 2018 is going to be an incredible year for One Piece. Even if we're not getting Wano, I'm still feeling it in my bones. This is gonna be good. Now, you guys can let me know below what you want in 2018 from One Piece. What do you think's going to happen? Now, you might ask me what I want. It's not really so much about what I want, it's about what I know. Okay, because I am a One Piece connoisseur, and I know some things that are gonna go down, and it's not just one thing. I made a list. So, here you go. Tekking's list of things that will happen in 2018. I know, right? Totally going to happen. By the way, I'm a fan of number 12 myself, but let's get this party started right. Here it is, One Piece Chapter 890 review titled Big Mom on the Ship. Okay, Big Mom's on the ship. You know, that doesn't imply something sinister. Maybe she just stopped by for a nice cup of tea and then she'll be on her merry way. I can hope, can't I? Alright, so we get a cool cover page this chapter. We don't actually continue with the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which I know there's a lot of people crying themselves to sleep that we don't get to see what's going on with Leo this week. Like, oh man, I wanted to see more with the Toad Tatas. We just didn't get it. But no, we got a really cool cover page, like really well done, and a bunch of characters that we haven't seen in a while. We see Khalifa there, we see Boa Hancock, Minotaurus for some reason, Marco, and I'm just sitting there looking at this and I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm fine with seeing these characters in a color spread for like a long time, but what the hell do these characters have anything to do together, Oda? It's just like you just threw them all together without any rhyme or, oh, it's the Chinese Zodiac. Derpity-dur! Honestly speaking, like, I honestly knew that's what it was right now, but when I was first reading this chapter, I was seriously like, what? What do they all have in common? And it took me like a good solid 5 minutes to actually pick up on that. So yeah, Chinese Zodiac, right? We got Marco as the rooster, which, okay, fine, whatever, let's just go with it. Minotaurus as the cow, Boa Hancock is the snake, of course, Khalifa being the sheep, Carrot being the rabbit, Luffy being the monkey, which, okay, you fan shippers, there you go, have fun, I'll take your number, and you can come back after, you know, the new year, and let's see what you got, bring it on. What else do we got? We got Fujitora as the tiger. That's pretty clever. We have Cavendish's trusty steed, Farul, as the horse. We have Inuarashi as the dog. We got Momonosuke as the dragon. But yeah, so I'm cycling through all these animals, though, and I eventually get down that we're missing the pig and we're missing the rat. And then that's when you realize that Big Mom is the pig, or the boar. And I'm like, wow, well, really? And then you start thinking, oh, a very large, fat animal that just lays around all day, shoveling food into its mouth, and, you know, having a bunch of children suckling at its... Oh, yeah, that's about right. In fact, I think pigs are a little bit more eloquent than Big Mom. As for the rat, it's Mansherry. And I started thinking, like, hey, look, I'm not a huge fan of Mansherry. I don't have, like, a Mansherry body pillow or anything. That would be the size of a mitten. But it's like, yeah, I mean, don't compare her to a freaking rat. That's disgusting. Can we get a cuter image of a rat in here? Oh, okay, all right, that works better. That's better. But, yeah, I like the color spread. It's a good way to bring in the new year. All right, so, as the title of the chapter implies, Big Mom is, in fact, on the ship. And she lands, and immediately things are just ominous as all hell. Everybody just kind of stops what they're doing for a second. Even Jinbei, who knows what she's capable of fully, used to be a warlord, he's, you know, pretty strong, he's just like, ugh. And so last chapter he was like, guys, look, I know you're attached to your ship and everything, but, we might have to we might have to abandon, we might have to get into the we might have to all cram into the freaking shark submerge to get out of here. And of course, everyone's like, no, Jinbei, we already dealt with one ship death this series. We cannot go through that crap again. But yeah, everyone's just staring there, and Big Mom gets up after landing on the deck of the Thousand Sunny, and she's like, I am starving, but it's just not good enough. The only thing that will do is the cake. So she freely admits that she's like starving, like that she's lost so much weight, and it does seem like she's gained her consciousness back a little bit. Like a few chapters ago, she was just this raving lunatic that's just cake, cake, give me cake. But now she's forming coherent words, and her diction is back to the way it was. So maybe it's like a full circle thing, She lifts up a big chunk of the Sunny, revealing the little aquarium cafe there, and she's like, it's not here. And you know what? The Thousand Sunny is not that big of a ship. It's bigger than the Mary was, sure, but compared to like Big Mom's giant galleons and crap, it's not even close to being that size. So you figure, like, after opening up the Thousand Sunny like that, and considering that the cake is supposed to be so big, that's what she was promised by Sparrow. Oh yes, a wedding cake like none other was stolen by the Straw Hats. You'd think that she'd be able to figure that out as soon as, like, lifting up the thing. Oh, it's not here. I guess it must not be here. And Jinbei tells her as such. Jinbei's like, there's no cake on this ship, Big Mom, which is probably a statement that Jinbei never thought he would say in his life. This is a really serious guy, member of the Neptune army, had to fight against the slave trade, joining up with Fisher Tiger, and here he is, on a sea made of freaking orange juice, being like, there's no cake in this Thousand Sunny ship with a sunflower on its head, Big Mom. Oh man, my life is weird, But anyway, yeah, she's looking at it, and she's like, she's still crazy. I mean, don't try to think that she's back to being completely rational. She's still a freaking nutter butter. She's like, if you're lying about the cake, then that means I have to take the life of my only son. You want me to take the life of my only son, Jinbei? And we're like, well, yeah, totally. Jinbei should have totally just been like, oh, hell yeah. The one less for us to deal with, but unfortunately, that's not how it goes. But we do get a humorous scene where we cut over to Sparrow on his ship, and he's like, ah! Because he didn't think she was going to remember that. And she's like, how conscious is she? I thought she was going to forget about that. So, yeah, Sparrow, you might want to start running for the hills. You might want to start making like a magical candy road and journey into the next island territory. Like, you pop into Kaido's territory. I was like, well, I'm not safe here, but I'm safer than I am from Big Mom, But yeah, so that was pretty funny. And then she cuts back over, and she lifts up Napoleon, and she starts hacking away at Jinbei in the ship. Like, you calling my son a liar, you fishman bastard. So she starts swinging, and she goes into cognac, which is, I guess cognac it's because it's an alcohol. That's what we're going with. But its literal translation is just Emperor's Sword, given the fact she is a Yonko, makes sense. And it's basically a flaming long sword with a giant evil face on it with teeth. Kind of redundant, really, the fact that it's a sword that has, like, jagged teeth, because it's like you're getting cut anyway. Why do you just overkill at that point? And then Napoleon's shouting, I'll cleave and burn you in two. I was like, well, which is what? Because if you cut first and then burn, all that's going to do is just cauterize the wound, and then you don't bleed out. So you gotta burn first and then cut. Right? I mean, you gotta pick your priorities here, Napoleon. So anyway, yeah, she charges up Cognac, Emperor's Sword, takes a swing at Jinbei. Jinbei activates his hockey. Pretty cool, because I don't know, this might not have been the first time we've seen him, like, hockey up, but it was really cool. Kairagi is the name of the technique, or like shark skin. It's also a term for Edo-era pottery, so okay, I guess that's the naming gimmick we're going with Jinbei's moves. But, yeah, he blocks the sword, kind of. And keep in mind, by the way, this doesn't look like special kind of armament. Doesn't look like he's doing anything unique with it. It looks like he's just, the same thing Luffy always does, adding armament hockey to his arms. It just goes to show that, Luffy calls it, like, hardening, or, like, Buso hardening, or armament, or whatever. Not all... not everybody that uses armament hockey has to call it that. I mean, it's just up to you, whatever you want to call it or not. Considering Jinbei is a whale, shark, fishman, he refers to it as, like, shark skin. It's a little bit of a power struggle there, like, don't you think you can win with strength alone, you bloody shark? Jinbei, no! He got knocked in the water, which means he's gonna be absolutely fine. In fact, better than fine, because he's stronger in the water. Ah, screw you, Big Mom! You just powered Jinbei up! Woo! But at any rate, Jinbei is currently knocked off the ship, so then Big Mom moves to the other side and begins to rip that end of the Thousand Sunny up, which is doubly bad, not just because it's wrecking the ship, but also because that's the room that Carrot happens to be resting in, and she's basically, I don't want to say comatose or anything, but she can't really move all that well. And so, they're like, stop! Carrot's in there! And she's like, carrot cake? And I'm like, well, no. That would have been funny, right? Like, oh, I hate carrot cake. Screw this! And then goes back to Sparrow and kills him. But no. They yell for her to stop. Nami does, and Big Mom just retorts with, if you want me to stop, then just tell me where it is. So obviously, no answer they could give is going to, satiate her. They can keep telling her, like, it's not on the ship, it's not going to click, it's just bouncing off of her skull, it's not going through. Honestly speaking, like, this is not an option, this is totally not an option, but if they were to abandon the ship, and Big Mom just wrecks the entire Thousand Sunny to the point where, it's just a bunch of driftwood, and she realizes the cake's not there, I mean, it would suck for the ship, and it would be very, very sad, which is why it's definitely not going to happen, but at that point, she would go back to Sparrow and kill him, and she would resume what she was doing originally, which was destroying her own family and her own crew until she got a cake. I mean, that's that. Okay, look, if this was any ship other than the Thousand Sunny, this plan would work perfectly, but it isn't, unfortunately. If they would have stolen one of Big Mom's ships and then sailed it, then we might have something, but we don't. So she goes to attack again to crush the ship. Chopper activates his guard point, which is something we have not seen in, like, forever. I think the last time we saw him use guard point was during, like, when they were going down to Fishman Island, like, right after the time skip. So he turns into a giant puffball, blocks it. It doesn't look like it hurts him at all. It just kind of looks like he's... But hey, you know what? Mad props, Chopper. You stopped an attack from a Yonko. You can definitely... Can we get his bounty a little higher now? Chopper's over here. You can't really see him. But can we get his bounty a little higher now? He blocked a shot from a Yonko at point blank range, for God's sake. We can at least bump that up to 1,000 berries now, all right? I think right about now is when I should talk about the power level of Big Mom, Look, because a lot of people at the end of this chapter were a little disappointed of how much she gets kind of, like, smacked around by the crew, and they're like, this is disappointing that a Yonko would be able to be taken out, not taken out, but be able to get knocked back by these characters. But you know what, I think I'll stop and just address it as it comes, because she really hasn't taken any damage yet. All she really did was knock Jinbei into the splash zone, and then, basically pressed her hand down on the giant, stress relief ball that is Chopper's guard point. And that's all that's really happened so far. So as the attacks begin to pile up, I'll address them as they come. So the next thing that happens is, while she's distracted by Chopper, Jinbei, while he was underwater, he was doing his whole water current, Fishman karate, water heart shit, and he uses the current shoulder overthrow thing, the same thing he used in Impel Down, right? So he uses that, and Big Mom's hair, which is on fire, is igniting the sails, so that sea current he splashes on the deck of the ship that extinguishes her hair, as well as with the sails get saved from being, burnt. They're not burnt all too badly. And then Prometheus is also off to the side, like, water, it burns, but it's wet, but it burns, so that makes her hair go down, and she's just kind of staring at Jinbei, who arrives back on the ship, and she's just like, give me the cave, And so this is when Jinbei fires up. This is something I was expecting. And we've seen this move before, but last chapter I was like, Jinbei, like, Fishman Karate Grandmaster move, and it's something we've seen before, but it's Fishman Karate Ogi. Whenever an anime character says Ogi, start running as fast as you can in the opposite direction. Vagabond drill, and just BAM! Oh man, oh no, it feels like a giant old freaking wrinkly raisin in here. How many kids did you have, woman? Oh god. And then, boom, knocks her off the side of the Sunny. Now, I'm not too upset about this ability, about this attack hurting her, and I don't think anybody should be upset about this. Jinbei's a pretty strong dude, he's a warlord, and this is like his strongest move that we've seen so far. This is the move that popped Watatsume like he was just a giant balloon. which he basically was, but still, the guy was giant, and it drilled a hole right through his body. This is that move, and it doesn't drill a hole through Big Mom. It doesn't just, cork her. It just, like reverberates in her. She's not fat anymore, but that skin is still there. So imagine all her skin rolls under her little moo-moo. I just ruined everybody's New Year's Eve meal. Okay, not going to be eating that kielbasa tonight. But yeah, it just reverberates and just vibrates in her, because that's how Fishman karate works. It affects the water inside your body and uses that as a weapon to kind of like an internal shock wave, which to most normal people that means your body would just and then you just fall apart. To most people that are strong, like Luffy, it still hurts them, but they can endure it. It popped Wanasume, and in the sense of Big Mom, it just reverberated and knocked her, not really far. It knocked her off the ship, and Zeus caught her, but it didn't knock her like a kilometer away or anything. It just knocked her off the ship itself. So I'm fine with that attack hitting, with Jinbei's strength and with the nature of Fishman karate and the fact it only knocked her off the ship, which isn't that big anyway. I'm fine with that. So next we move on over to Big Mom now riding on Zeus, and she kind of realigns herself, and she's like, she's gearing up to attack again. Jinbei's like, all right. The ship's got damaged, but we're still good. We gotta keep moving. We still gotta keep moving because we got a fleet behind us. Taifuku's ship is their fleet is wrecked. They can't move, but we still have Perospero and their group behind them, so we still need to get moving. And the sails they're burnt, but they're still in one piece, so it's good. And Big Mom's like, okay, I have a new idea, new plan. She activates Napoleon again, and he stretches out this time, so it's like a giant long sword now that's flaming. And then she's like, I have an idea. We'll just slice it up. And Big Mom even looks even skinnier than she did a few pages ago after getting hit by the Vagabond drill. I guess that knocked a few more calories off her husk. So, yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'll just cut it straight like this, and then the top will pop off, and if there is a cake to be had, surely I will see it then. So Big Mom starts doing that, and before she gets a chance to slice it and dice, Nami comes up to Zeus, and she pops out her climb attack, and she does her little black, weather balls, and she's like, Zeus-chan, come on, you love these. And for a moment there, you think that Zeus is going to be like, oh, yay! But then he completely turns his person out. He's like, yay! You think I'd fall for that, you freaking temptress? And then just proceeds to send down electrical rain, which, hey, look, Zeus, we've all been there. Come on. Nami, you temptress! I'm like, oh, that really spoke to me. We've all been there. Because let's be honest here. On this New Year's Eve, let's address something really quick. Nami's hot. She's awesome. But you would not want that woman as your girlfriend or your wife. Let's just admit that right now. I mean, she, you would, or even you go out to a bar, you'd see Nami there, and even if you get a chance to actually hook up with her, you'd wake up tied to the freaking bed with freaking handcuffs the next day and your wallet gone. That's totally what would happen. Don't tell me otherwise. So this is why I'm more of a Robin man myself. It looks like Zeus began to just electrocute Nami, and it's like, oh, no, that's not good. But then he finds out it's actually just Brooke who took the hit instead. And you see Nami off to the side there like, everything's good. And I'm like, well, because the thing about Nami is that she's very glass cannon-y. She has her... Keep in mind, Nami has no special abilities herself, other than, she's a good navigator. She has a good sense of direction. She can sense the cloud patterns and all that crap. Is that a form of observation hockey? I don't know. But anyway, she doesn't have any straight-up attack abilities on her own. All she's got is her climb attack, and she's pretty handy at using that. But my point is, she's got no defense skills on her own. If she gets hit, she gets a solid hit, she's going down. If this actually happened to her, if she got electrocuted just a little bit, she wouldn't be able just to stand back up after that, all right? So, that's the way I always view Nami, as very glass cannon-y, with big boobies. Glass boobies, as it were. I don't know. You can take that whatever you will. But yeah, so Brooke is the one that gets electrocuted, and he states, yes, I don't have any flesh, so I cannot get electrocuted. Yo-ho-ho-ho! And I'm sitting there, and it's like, is that how that works? So it's someone needs to tell me that. Can you if you take a piece of bone and you run an electrical current through it, will it just not do anything? I would assume that if you run a strong enough current, it would just eventually fry the bone and make it charred and just, ashes. But maybe not. Maybe that's how that works. Doesn't explain how his hair is not fried, but okay, whatever. I'll go with the fantasy. Brooke gets immune to electricity. And so he charges up now. He gets ready, takes out his sword. He's like Soul Salt. He's about ready to launch an attack on Big Mom. And I think it's Big Mom herself that yells at him like, "Oh, Soul King, don't you remember that your sword wasn't able to scratch me at all?" And then Brook pulls out his last stiff. I mean, you gotta go big or go home. You gotta pull out every trick you got. Like, remember when Usopp was fighting Luffy? He pulled out everything. He pulled out his Usopp spell, the chalkboard, telling lies. He did every single thing in his bag of tricks to take on Luffy, and Brook has to do that if he even has a chance against Big Mom. So he leaps up and he says, "Let me see your panties!" You're a true man, Brook. You're a true man. You might not have balls, sir, but you got a massive set of balls, sir. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, he proceeds to launch, and I imagine this is kind of like the scene in Naruto with the reverse harem jutsu where Kaguya was just momentarily like, "What?" And Big Mom's like, "Huh? Panties? I haven't worn those things in years, but oh." Okay, but anyway, yeah, he proceeds to launch an attack, and it's not just his 3-pace humming aeronaut slash. No, it's the 3-verse humming soul aeronaut slash, and he slices up Zeus. Because remember, even though he wasn't able to actually harm Big Mom the last time that he used a technique like that, he did manage to scratch Prometheus, because Prometheus was like putting a little band-aid on. It's like, ow, damn, gave me like a paper cut. So he is able to hurt her homies, just not her. And then you start to realize that this is really less about a battle against Big Mom directly, and more about a battle to take out her homies, who are like her support. Like when you're playing an RPG and you got like, oh, here's the big bad giant thing, like the final boss fight. No! Okay, alright, look, this has nothing to do with One Piece. I just awoke a repressed memory, okay? Alright, New Year's Eve, 2010. This is a true story. New Year's Eve, 2010. I was playing Final Fantasy X for the first time. There's a girl that I knew that liked manga. She recommended that I play it. I was in high school at the time. So this manga-liking girl recommended you gotta play Final Fantasy X. And it was New Year's Eve, and I was on the final boss fight against Jecht. And Jecht is like this giant ripped, like, he's got like a 16-pack, and he's got this giant anchor sword, and he's got these 2 pillars next to him that constantly heal him. You try to poison him, you try to zombie him, these things just heal him. You can attack the pillars, but the pillars just heal too. And my characters are way under-leveled, and I just couldn't win. So I was up for 4 hours, New Year's Eve, trying to beat that son of a bitch, and I couldn't do it. And now I couldn't do it. And I still haven't beaten that game. And here we are now. 7 years later. 7 years later. And then Big Mom's like she's Jecht. Like an older, more wrinkly, more saggy Jecht. And then the 2 freaking annoying pillars are Zeus and Prometheus. Well, you know what? At least Brook has gotten farther than me. We're doing this tonight, alright? So he slices Zeus in half, and Nami picks up the pace, sends out her black orbs, static charges, kind of overloads the electrical static, charge. This is very technical inside of Zeus, and Zeus ends up discharging all his electricity as Big Mom is still riding on him. Like, this is the second time that she's done this. And so, I guess it does harm her at least a little bit. Not really. I mean, it didn't really work the first time. It didn't work this time either. It's her own homies, so the attack damage is going to be minimal, if nothing. So Big Mom falls on Prometheus as Zeus is reduced to this tiny, adorable little puff cloud wearing a hat. And, yeah, so that's pretty cute. And Brook kind of holds him up and gives him to Nami. He's like, he's a little bit too worn out. I don't think he could fight anymore. And Nami just... Oh, Zeus-chan, I wasn't giving you a choice, dear. Do you want to be my slave or do you want to die? And then you have Zeus, a little close up on Zeus, little baby Zeus that's like... So, how do I feel about this move? Well, people are saying, you know, once again, I hear people like, oh, Nami's so strong, you know, how dare, you know, it's a Yonko, she shouldn't be this overpowered. First off, she's not overpowered. These attacks are doing nothing to Big Mom. I don't know if you're noticing, but these are not phasing her at all. Secondly, this is more Brook's victory than Nami. Brook was the one that used his soul power to cut up Zeus. I can get that. It's not Big Mom, it's her homie. It's like a fragment of her soul. Brook's whole thing is soul power, so the fact that he was able to cut up a soul-powered homie makes perfect sense to me. And then Nami was just there with the support. She just launched the static balls and everything worked. All these abilities that she's using, it's not like she's pulling shit out of nothing. Like I have all these abilities I never had before. Now, these are always the abilities Nami's had. Nami's always had abilities to summon up little electric balls. And she's just being smart with using them because Zeus and they discharge and like positive and negative charges and everything like that. It makes perfect sense to me. So, I mean, like, it's not like Nami's going to be the one to straight up knock out Big Mom, but the fact that she's still getting hits on her, I mean, that's mostly just because Big Mom is kind of weakened right now, and she's in this state of mind. She's not really, you know, anybody could probably launch off an attack right now, and they could probably still hit her. It's not going to do much, but you can still hit her. So whatever. I'm taking this as a victory for Nami, and I hope Zeus sticks around, because that's something that could actually be cool. The only problem with that is Zeus sticking around and being like a little friend to Nami, like a little power-up for Nami, is that Nami would constantly have a fragment of Big Mom's soul hanging around her. And I feel like that would be like just a massive homing beacon for Big Mom. Like, I know where they are at all times now. Which maybe that's something Oda could do. Like, they escape Big Mom's territory with little Zeus. And because Zeus is with them, Big Mom will find them again someday and they'll launch another attack. But this time it'll be like with the entire Straw Hats. Maybe that's something they could do. Who knows? Or, I mean, if we're going with the idea that Big Mom is just gonna... If the Straw Hats are gonna go straight from here to Wano, and Big Mom was gonna follow them to Wano, and then it would be like a clash between Big Mom and Kaido or something, then that would happen anyway. So yeah, bring Zeus along. You know, have him be Nami's little sidekick. She can ride around on a cloud like in Super Mario World. I'm fine with that. But yeah, so that's pretty much where the chapter ends. Jinbei takes the helm and sends, you know, tries like, everyone's like, oh wow, Brook, you were awesome. Everybody's high-fiving. Like, we did it! I'm like, come on. I mean, this is a good moment for you. You're getting a lot of pot shots out on a Yonko. I can't wait until they meet up with the rest of the crew and they ask, like, Zoro and Robin and Frankie. He's like, so what did you guys do? It's like, oh, man, it was a freaking blast, yo. We took out, we were launching attacks. Nami, you know, thunderstruck Big Mom twice. A Yonko, and she did it twice. Brook cut up her freaking homie, Magical Riding Cloud. He's our bitch now. Oh, man, I got stories. And then they're like, oh, by the way, Frankie, we totally wrecked the ship. And then Frankie's like... Now, to be honest, though, I'm not that worried about the Sunny, because this kind of damage... I mean, Frankie built, like, a bridge in less than 10 seconds. Alright, now, granted, the Sunny is made out of a very special type of wood, atom wood, but I think this will be nothing for Frankie. Frankie will see the damage, and he'll probably be shocked by it, but he'll figure, well... You know, you went into a freaking Yonko's territory. I kind of expected this. I kind of expected it was going to get some battle damage, so I was getting ready for the repairs. And then Frankie could knock this out in like a night. He could get this fixed up. It's nothing too big. All she did was she ripped up a few walls. You know, maybe left a few dents in the freaking deck from stomping around. But, you know, like the rudder is fine, the mast is fine, the keel is fine. Everything's good. Frankie can fix the ship. It'll be all right, okay? And it's still seaworthy. It wasn't like there's holes punched in it in every direction. It's taking on water. The Thousand Sunny will be fine. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Big Mom doesn't miss a beat. She looks charred, but she doesn't seem to be all that injured. She jumps on top of Prometheus and then sends right after the Straw Hats. So that's where the chapter ends, and that's the last chapter of 2017, guys. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on here. I like to see the shit with Jinbei and his Fisherman Karate. That was really cool. I'm fine with the Nami attacks. The Brook attack made sense. They weren't really going after Big Mom. They were going after her homies, which are obviously less powerful. And hey, we got one homie down, 2 left. So I don't know if they're going to target Prometheus next or go after... I mean, really, Prometheus should be the easiest one to deal with. Jinbei could just, you know, hop in the water and just, like, machine gun ocean currents at freaking Prometheus until he hits him. And Napoleon would obviously be the hardest one because Big Mom always has a firm, tight grip on him. And then he's like a sword, so he's attacking you at the same time you're trying to hit him. So Napoleon would be the hardest. But hey, if you take out Prometheus, she has no place to stand. So... Go after Prometheus. Please pay attention. Jinbei, hop in the water and start throwing as much ocean currents as you can at her. That's all I got. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Now look, something else I have to mention. I usually do a New Year's Eve stream, but tonight I still might do it. It's just that it's like 7 right now, and I still got to finish this and edit and upload and everything. So I'll try to do the stream tonight, but if I can't, I apologize. But anyway, you're going to get content from me. You're going to get the video if you don't get anything, but still, I'm sorry. But yeah, and then I have work in the morning, so that's just how it goes. But thanks for everybody for watching, and if I don't see you for a stream tonight, I hope you all have a very happy New Year. Where'd my hat go? There it is. Hope you all have a very good, happy New Year. I'm looking forward to this. And thank you for the massive growth I've had this year, guys. I went up 100,000 subs in this year. Actually, 110,000. We just hit 210 today. So thank you. And 2018 will be even better. Trust me. All right. Signing out, everyone. Okay. I just realized this. I didn't even notice it when I did the whole video. I don't know if you even could see it really all that well, but Happy New Year. Year. Y-A-E-R. I bought this at Walmart. This was not something I made. It wasn't like part of a joke. I hope to God that all of the ones that are like this at Walmart, I hope they were exactly like that. I hope this wasn't a defect just for me. I hope everybody's are like that. So right now, all over the world, at New Year's parties, everyone's looking at these like, what the huh? Alright, well, whatever. Have a good Happy New Year, everybody. It's the year of Eren Yeager, so Happy Year. Alright, later, everyone.